Princess English 33 says, what advice can you give to a woman in their 40s who desire to get married, but doesn't know how and what that looks like? Therefore, has struggled with understanding her value and place as a wife. Great question. Your value is in God. Your value, you know how to, back in elementary or middle school, place value. Because you placed to him, that's where your value is. That's where your value is. Now, the advice I can give you, a woman in 40s, that you're never too young. Age is nothing but a number to God. God is not bound by time. God's above time. Some people are single for his providential will, that there was a moment in time that he wanted you to meet someone to get married and to produce children for his timing. Look at Sarah and them. That there was a time where God wanted her to be pregnant and have a child, and or John the Baptist mom who was barren, and when she was pregnant, she rejoiced, said that the Father took her reproach away from women, because it was hard for her. The Bible talks about how she served the Lord righteously, that she served the Lord in the temple, but she didn't have a child, but God barrened her womb. Some of us have to understand that God is the one that's causing us to be where we are. And the person that we're mad at is God. Sometimes God will barren your womb. Sometimes God will barren your life because of his timing. She was supposed to be the vehicle to bring John the Baptist. And yes, she was. And the thing about we have to learn about Elizabeth, she was faithful to God. She was serving in the temple. She was faithful, and she got picked on. You know how we know she got picked on and talked about? Because back in the Bible days, having children meant that you was blessed. That's a warped view of life, that because I have children, I'm blessed, and because you don't have a child, you in sin. And so Elizabeth was serving God, and all that time wasn't able to have a child. And the beautiful thing about it, she rejoiced, because she was like, now the reproach has been taken away from me amongst women. Now women have to eat their words now, talking about Elizabeth. And imagine how blessed she felt and how full she felt when everyone had to watch the fruit of her womb be the one that baptized Jesus, to be the great man John the Baptist that he was. Imagine that. But in the meantime, you have to realize the one that's above time and trust that he would intervene in time to ensure that everything that you desire to have will be in your life. But we have to get to a place where we trust him. So what advice you give to women in their 40s? You're not old. Don't worry about the pressure of the world. God made your womb, not doctors. God made your womb. God can make your womb as fruitful and as vibrant as a young woman. Okay. What advice can you give a woman in her 40s who desire to get married? Don't nothing wrong with desire. Continue to delight in the Lord. Continue to delight in the Lord. That's the practical thing. Make him your delight. In order for you to delight in the Lord, you have to go into the light. The light is what exposes. The light will reveal. The light will heal. The light will show you who you've been sealed by, and give you the hope that he's the one that's got you, right? Because when you process that and realize that the more I delight in God and trust in him and understand, sometimes you need someone to tell you that God made your womb. You're never too old to have children. You're never too old to be married, that God is the one that keeps you. Then you will continue to have your hope in him. And then as you continue to navigate life, you won't find yourself in these deep valleys of depression or deep valleys of sadness or caught up in comparisons, but you will continue to work on behalf of God like Elizabeth did. And then when God releases the timing, you will find yourself, God, I praise you. I thank you that you sealed me, that you guarded me from settling, that you kept me even in my age, in my 40s. I trusted you, and this is the fruit of my trusting you. But doesn't know how and what that looks like. God knows how it's going to happen and knows what it's going to look like. And it's going to look just like anybody else getting with somebody. You just have to look, you have to change the way you view yourself. You have to change the way you see yourself and see yourself as a daughter of God, and that God understands. God understands what you're feeling. God understands that people may be talking about you. He was talked about. He had to deal with people ridiculing him, but he still fulfilled his purpose. How and what that looks like. What it's going to look like is like anything. You're going to meet a man. Y'all going to get married. Going to have some babies. You know what I'm saying? Right now, continue to grow in the things of God. Continue to grow in the things of being a wife, and all that good stuff. Therefore, has struggled with understanding her value and place as a wife. Your values in God, like I said, We lose sight of our value when we try to connect ourselves to things that ultimately will devalue us. Anytime you look at something other than God for value, you devalue yourself mentally. You don't become devalued. Your perspective of yourself devalues. That's a big difference. You can never be shorter than priceless to God because you were so valued that He said Himself. He said nobody else's blood can pay the ransom, can pay for the loss of mankind. I gotta come in flesh. My blood is the only blood that can redeem mankind. And so you have to understand that it's something in your mind that's causing you to become devalued in your mind. But when you reconnect yourself to your already value, then you would begin to walk around and say, I don't care what y'all got to say. I don't care if y'all got babies, because there's a bunch of people that settled and still devalue their mind. They got a whole husband and a whole set of kids, and they're miserable. So I'd rather be in the will of God and get what I want from God later than to get what I settled for and then be and lose it later. So right now, you're better off than a lot of people who's married. You're 40, probably don't got no baggage, probably don't got no stuff going on. And you're better off than some people that got married at 25 but got divorced by 34. So sometimes perspectives puts things in their proper place. You'll be able to say, you know what? The divorce numbers are high for a reason. Well, I always say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Why is that? Because the last lasts. Because the last gets the opportunity to see the mess ups of the first. People who want to be first ends up last because they rushed there they had a bunch of zeal but no wisdom. But the last shall be first because the last has the opportunity to say, well, I can learn from Chelsea's mistakes. I can learn from Barbara's mistakes. Becky over there, she may have had good hair, but she woo, 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? You're able to learn because you had a greater vantage point. It's hard to see everything when you're in the front. It's always good to see everything from the back. So even though you seem like you last, learn from everybody's past. Learn from your past. Learn, learn, learn. If you want to earn, you got to plan to learn. It's that simple.